You should know by now that there's a brand that fronts an anime girl with each new release. That's right, we're talking about Moondrop Audio. Today, on the Super Chunk Super Audio Show, we are going to talk about the Aria 2021. Let's go! Now let's start with the box of the Aria 2021. As you can see, Moondrops like to front an anime girl, and the Aria 2021 is no different. And next, let me open the box. And so it comes in a very nice box. You know, it doesn't say too much. I think most of the information was on the anime girl sleeve that I threw on the floor, but it's kind of awkward to pick up right now. But doesn't matter. Let's see what's inside. So on the box, it clearly says Aria. It's quite a nice box. It even fronts the same kind of pattern that's on the earphone. Let me open it up to show it to you. And you can see the earphones are here. It is a very nicely black, but I will cover the rest of it in greater details later. Packaging is quite nice. You open the bottom flap to reveal a earphone case, and let's see what is inside the earphone case. Let me get it out. Now inside the earphone case lies a nice cord braided cable as well as some ear tips. Real talk though, I think the case is nice but can be a little bit bigger because when I put the earphones inside them, it gets a little tough to close, but hey, it's fine. I can find other means to move the earphones anyway. Also inside the box comes with some filters that you can change should the filter on your Aria 2021 become grimy and dirty, as well as a pair of tweezers to help you take the filters off and help you put them on. That's about it with the case candy. Let's start by talking about the build quality of the Aria 2021. The Aria 2021 comes in a very nice matte metal spray finish according to Moondrop's website. And you know, they state that these earphones are metal injection molded. I'm not sure whether they are made of aluminum or stainless steel, but honestly, they feel very, very hefty to touch, and the quality seems really excellent. I think the matte black finish looks actually very, very beautiful, and it's different from the usual anodized process that you get with a lot of earphones these days. Another thing about the Aria 2021 is that it has a 2-pin termination, which is great news for those of you who like to cable roll. You can change them to whatever cable you like, and I think that this earphone has a lot of potential when it comes to cable rolling as well. Now underneath the hood of the Aria 2021 is a 10mm liquid crystal polymer diaphragm that really is the soul of this earphone. Now if you're wondering why does liquid crystal polymer sound so familiar, that is because back in the Sony EX1000 review, the Sony EX1000 actually also uses such a diaphragm. I think it was a little bit bigger, but it is also made of liquid crystal polymer. Cable wise, the cable on the Aria 2021 is a rather nice paracord design, but there is one thing to note. I find these to be rather tangle prone, so usually when I just call them and put them in my case, I can usually get them out and I don't have to spend a minute or two to untangle them. But with the paracord cable, I find that I do have to untangle them a bit before I can, just start to use them. A small complaint, but hey, you can actually cable roll, so this isn't a very big issue. You can just change cables if you find this to be a problem, just like how I find it to be a small little problem. Stock cable also is terminated to a 3.5mm, which is very handy, and you can just use them with basically any DAP. Fit. Now the Aria 2021 does not have a very long nozzle. I do not find that this affects fit in any way. I actually use them for quite a few hours and I don't actually find that there is any fatigue setting in. There are no weird angles that hit the back of my concha like a sore thumb, and yeah, it works really well and it fits very nicely as well. Comfort, 5 stars. Next, let's get into the most important bit of the review, sound. Now the Aria 2021 sports a V-shaped DNA that has Well, more bass that tapers down to the mid-range and later expands again when you reach the treble frequencies. On the whole, it is warmer than neutral, and I find that this is a DNA that many people could get behind with. It is very natural sounding, and I think it would suit most music very well. Bass. The sub-bass of the Aria 2021 is fantastic, and that is followed by a linear mid-bass response that dips when it comes to the mid-range. As expected, with a good quality dynamic driver, you can not only hear the punch of the bass, but you can also feel it as well, and to me that is the mark of a great sounding dynamic driver. Details in the bass region is vivid and tidy. In terms of transient and decay, it is actually quite average. It is not the fastest sounding DD that I've heard, but neither is it the slowest. Actually, I think it does a good enough job so that the frequencies do not get melded together with other frequencies and keep things on the whole rather neat and tidy. Mid-range. As mentioned before, mid-range of the Aria 2021 actually takes a back seat compared to the bass and treble, but that does not mean that they lack in quality. In fact, actually I think they have a rather nice sweet sounding mid-range, and let me dive a little bit deeper into. There is a touch of warmth in the vocal section, and it's actually very delicate and intricate. Well, honestly, the Aria 2021 resolved details to a good extent for its price range. There is also some very nice harmonics that is going on within the mid-range that actually gives the mid-range a bit of a halo when it comes to vocals, and this adds a lot of character to the sound. You know, sometimes mid-range can sound really enchanting, although it's a little bit further back compared to the bass and treble. I would honestly go as far as calling the mid-range of the Aria 2021 rather creamy sounding. Treble on the Arias are very prominent, but I don't think that they beat the best ESTs out there in the market. But for what it is, it does an excellent job. Treble from the usual suspects such as cymbals and crashes are actually not very bright sounding. I would actually classify them as a very nice, warm kind of sizzle rather than an outright bright, loud crash. I think details on the treble side is actually rather good. Treble from cymbals and crashes do not sound unnecessarily bright, but I would say that they have a very nice warm sizzle. For what it is, the Arias are airy in tonality. As I mentioned, they do not beat the best ESTs out there in the market for absolutely glorious airiness, but for what it is, it actually performs a very good job. 100% respect. Soundstage. With regards to width and height, I think the Arias are rather fair. You do not get absolutely huge soundstage like you get in a grand concert hall. I would like to think that the Arias are kinda more like in the ballpark of a small little jazz club. Things are still big sounding but not grand. On the whole, width and height does a fantastic job. In terms of depth, I would say that the Arias are actually quite moderate. There are other earphones out there that have a better contrast between the furthest instrument and the most forward instrument. But on the whole, it is absolutely fine to listen to the Arias. I would not say that this is any detriment, but it's actually performing quite okay. The last component of soundstage, positioning. Positioning on the Arias are excellent. You can tell where the instruments are coming from, be it from the left or be it from the right, or just directly in front of you. Arias does it very well. And finally, in conclusion, I think that the Arias are excellent in value and they can suit 90% of the music that you listen to. Build quality is also really fantastic. It has a nice warmish signature that will sound great on almost all genres. But it isn't perfect. There are some things that I really don't care for on the Aria 2021. That is the paracord cable. Now the paracord cable are a very nice touch. They feel great, but they don't feel very nice when you are trying to untangle them. I would have preferred if it was a little bit less tangly, and it will make it a perfect entry-level IEM. Thank you very much for watching the Super Chunk Super Audio Show. And these days I update on Saturday nights at 8 PM GMT plus 8. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the content so far, please like and subscribe in the column below. Please press the bell icon to be notified. I hope to see you guys very soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next week, very soon. Bye.